Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Ridwanullah family. Welcome back to a new episode of Ridwanullah TV show. I'm your host, Money and Life Maximizer, Hussein Mohamud, working to help Muslims completely maximize their money and life in this dunya and in the akhirah for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Verily, all praise and thanks are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our creator, owner, and sustainer, the one who's worthy of all worship without any associates or intermediaries. And may the peace and blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be upon the most esteemed leader and most honorable teacher, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, his family, his companions, and those who follow him until the day of judgment. Allahumma ameen. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. In today's episode, I want to talk about money problems during the month of Ramadan, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So that's what we're going to be focused on, is money problems during the month of Ramadan. And I'll be able to tell you a lot of the things that I've been thinking about and feeling and going through. So inshallah, that's what we're going to be talking about today, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So stick with us throughout this episode so you can get as much value as possible, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So starting off with the sponsors, announcements, and updates. Our primary sponsor is Ridwanullah Organization, which is an Islamic professional and personal development company that's designed to help Muslims completely maximize their money and life in this dunya and in the akhirah for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you can visit more at ridwanullah.com bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Also, announcement. So if you would like to sponsor this show, send your request, budget, and details to Ridwanullah Organization at gmail.com, and we'll be able to happily work with you bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. What was I going to say? Announcements and updates. There's a lot of things going on right now, to be honest with you. A lot of good and a lot of struggle at the same time. So, alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, we're trying to do the best that we can. We still have the Ridwanullah University's Life Maximization Program up and running. So feel free to join us in that program. And I am working on at least one more new program that will be able to be a life changer, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, along with the life maximization program that we're doing. So please keep an eye out for that, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. I honestly don't have anything else. So within my business, there's a lot of things that I've been thinking about and pondering, and I've been meeting individuals in person. I'm connecting with a lot of people online as well. So what I'm going to be focused on, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, in the foreseeable future, for at least as long as it makes sense, is I'll be focused on my one-on-one or team consulting, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So I've been doing consulting on and off for a very long time now, and that's essentially what I'm going to be focused on, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So whether you want to do it online or offline, please connect with me. I'll be able to help you maximize your money and life, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So those are the two things that I'll be focused on. I have various price points depending on what you need and how long it is. So you could do the standardized packages, or you could do the customized packages. So depending on what you need in terms of consultation, send your request, budget, and details to Ridwanullah Organization at gmail.com, and I'll try to have portion of my website dedicated to my consulting, or anybody else that's going to be working with the Ridwanullah consulting business, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So that's something new I'm really, really excited about. Honestly, I haven't really focused on that aspect of my business for a long time, but having met with individuals who need help with their money, their business, their investments, their wealth, and just all other aspects of life as well, it's been really eye-opening to me. So that's what I'm doing, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. So please connect with me. I'll be more than happy to consult, work with you in a consultation role. And we'll be able to build on from there. And I'm really, really excited about that. $30 per month is the Ridwanullah University Life Maximization Program. And that's exclusively online. So any way that you would love, that would work best for you, I would love to serve you, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. Yeah, that's all that I can think about. Obviously, there's a lot more stuff happening in the background, but that's probably for something else right now. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Obviously, as an entrepreneur, you have so many ideas running in your head, like you don't know what to focus on in your business, or trying to write a book, building courses and programs and other businesses, ideas, and just so many things going on. So I'm just trying to figure out what are the selective things that I wanted to share with you, but I think that's been long enough. So that's all I got for you guys today in terms of sponsors, announcements, and updates. Moving on to the topic for today, and I'll cover a couple other things around it as well, just to kind of get a few things off my chest, and hopefully that'll be helpful to you as well, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. So what I wanted to talk about is dealing with money problems during the month of Ramadan. So this is one of those things where it brings up a lot of emotions of guilt. At the very least for me, I'm pretty sure that it does for you as well. So for me right now, to be honest with you, I've been really, really focused on my money, the job, the business, the investments, and just building my wealth. That's under the freedom and wealth category of my life. And it just so happens that it is during the month of Ramadan, right? Ramadan is a month that we should be really, really focused on, doing the absolute best that we can to, figure out how to gain closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, figure out how to, achieve the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and figure out how to achieve forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and really, to just general idea, not really focus on money, not really focus on freedom and wealth, whether that's your money, your job, your business, your investments, your wealth, whatever it may be, in all of these different categories and whatever's within them, like leadership and things like that. It's really, really important to focus on your deen, yourself, your family and relatives, and the ummah and the world at large. And as Muslims, we feel guilty for focusing on money, and that's what I've been feeling, to be quite honest with you. And it's a time to give, it's a time to be generous and everything else that you could imagine. But throughout this journey, for me to come this far, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, and focusing on money, like my mind is literally blown. But that is the nature of the circumstances that we find ourselves in, right? Not stress about money as much, right? Because we're all struggling with money one way or the other, right? And some of us have it figured out, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala genuinely bless you in that, and help as many people as you can with it. But for me, it's been a real struggle, to be quite honest with you, for years, for decades, pretty much all of my life. And the more I try to avoid it, the more it comes back to me 100 times stronger, that money is a real thing. Money is one of those things where we really have to focus on it as Muslimin. And not in the sense that we should allow it to consume our lives and that we should be slaves to money, but to become masters to money, so we can become slaves to the master of everything, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala jalla wa ala. So that's all the stuff that I've been thinking about lately, is just all of the money problems that we're facing in the month of Ramadan. And just to kind of help you, that you don't have to feel guilty to focus on your money, to be honest with you. That it is an essential aspect of life, that obviously we should find the right balance with it, but We shouldn't be afraid of thinking about money. We shouldn't be afraid about talking about money. We shouldn't be afraid about planning and preparing for our money. And a lot of people feel different about that. And I felt different about that for a long time, and I still struggle with it. But at the same time, leaders are those who lead. Leaders are those who say the most unpopular things, but it is the thing that we're all thinking about. It is the thing that we're all stressing about. So for me, having this background in leadership, I've been sitting in the background for a long time, and I've been on the sidelines. Now it's time for me, Hussein Mohamud, to get in the game of money, to get in the game of leading people in money. And not some, dunya, money hungry type of way, but in a way that alleviates pain, in a way that allows us to expand our consciousness around money, in a way that allows us to deal with this topic that is so taboo in our religion, in our culture, in our way of life. And it's something that, we're passive aggressive about, right? We're not directly telling each other, talking about money, but we're indirectly hating on each other in the aspects of money. And we're all struggling with it. So we really, really, really have to completely, as Muslims, completely maximize our money and life in this dunya and in the akhirah for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And for me, I'm still trying to figure out how often I should pre-record my content. Ideally, I wanted it to be a month, but I've recorded a month's worth of content, and it was all around money. But then, it came exactly during the month of Ramadan, right? And I was already struggling with what to focus on in my business and life anyway. And what I've realized is I need to focus on money and life, essentially as of right now at the very least. It could change in the future, Allahu A'lam. But it's a combination of certain things, and there are certain topics within all of them. And, I pre-recorded all of this content, and what happened was, during basically a whole month, the whole month of Ramadan, I had topics scheduled that was directly or indirectly related to money. And I felt bad because I'm thinking, like, why am I talking about money during the month of Ramadan, right? During the month of Quran and Hadith and being able to, study the deen and do so much good. And I was really struggling with that, and I still am, and I'm not over it. But I honestly think, as I was thinking, we're expected to go out and help our spouses and children, help our parents and relatives and other parents and other family and relatives, and we're expected to help out our ummah and world, whether that's the masjid and friends, or the neighbors and community, or the city and state, or the country and the world, or any particular specific thing within that. But the more I thought about it, the more I pondered it, nobody ever tells you to help who? Yourself. Nobody ever tells you that. It's just mind-boggling to me. Nobody ever tells you to help yourself. Why? Because that's selfish. And most people want you to be selfless. And, when you're talking about money, when you're talking about all of these things, it just seems so basic. It just seems so dunyawi, as most people like to call it. It's just so temporary. But it is connected to our everlasting life. And that's one of the things that I wanted to personally tell myself. And as I was thinking about, man, Hussein, you're being selfish. Why in the world are you starting to focus more on money right now? And starting to focus on business, your jobs and your businesses and your investments and wealth and all of the different things that are within that, and leadership, and and you're not focused on your deen, and you're not focused on yourself, and you're not focused on helping your family and relatives. You're not focused on helping the ummah and the world. And I really had to circle back and think about helping myself first and foremost is essentially helping, helping my deen, helping my my family and relatives and helping out the ummah in the world, right? By focusing on making money through my business, I'm able to do this content. I'm able to create so many things that is not only beneficial for myself, but being selfish is the most selfless thing that you could do. And I know that sounds crazy, and it sounded crazy for me to even say that, but that's essentially what it is. And by focusing on money is a way of focusing on yourself, right? Because this is what you personally need at a particular moment. But within the same token, by you taking care of yourself, you put yourself in a better position, in a better situation to help other people. And the more I focused on money, the more I realized that it's not really about money. It is about money. It's a weird combination. It's like a paradox. It's a contradistinction. Big words, but if you research it, you'll understand that it really directly ties directly to this. It just means that, focusing on money sounds bad, but in actuality, it's good. Because once you are able to focus on your money, you start to alleviate yourself from literally at least 60 to 80% of the problems and challenges that you're experiencing in your life. And I'm not saying money is the exact thing that you need to focus on. It connects to your deen. So if you don't have the correct aqidah of tawheed, then money is always going to be an issue for you. And you're always going to be someone who's apathetic, a new word that I learned from, shout out to my brother Mikhail Ahmed. I've heard it before, but he's the one who explained it to me during the interview. So check out the interview that we found ourselves in, that we recorded. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. So every single person is having money problems during the month of Ramadan and even outside of the month of Ramadan. So why not talk about it during the month of Ramadan and make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us solve our money problems? You know what I mean? We're in a very, very, very tough situation right now with this pandemic, the virus pandemic that we find ourselves in during the first quarter and second quarter of 2020. And I sat back and I'm thinking, man, why are you so focused on money? Why are you so focused on your job and businesses and investments and wealth and all of these different things that go in it? Why aren't you focused on your deen? Why aren't you focused on helping others? And I really realized, I need help more than anybody else. I need my own help more than anybody else by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So by me focusing on my money, my job, my businesses and investments and wealth and the first category of my life, which is freedom and wealth, is really a way of gaining balance in my life, is really a way of taking care of something that has been stressing me out for a very long time. And alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, I honestly don't want to sound like I'm extremely struggling with money. I'm very, very fortunate with money. I still have a long way to go, but I came a long way with money, alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Obviously, being able to talk about it as one of the main subjects is just mind-boggling to me. But it's a reality that we're in. It's a reality that we face, right? We still have to take care of whether that's job expenses or business expenses that we have, whatever work expenses that we have. We still have to take care of the investments expenses that we have. And we also have personal expenses that we as individuals need, and our families and relatives need, and the ummah in the world needs as well. So, whether it be, helping out the masajids with whatever they need and want to, whatever capacity that you have. You might have a little, you might have a lot. That's why a lot of the organizations, especially the nonprofit organizations, look for a lot of donations during the month of Ramadan. Because it is a time where people think about money. It is a time where people want to give more. Even though they don't have it, they have that desire and that intention. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward them for that. And maybe you're in a situation where you still want to contribute to the masajid, you want to contribute to your family, yourself, whatever you possibly can give within the the fortunes that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you, and you want to, outside of your family and relatives, you want to give to your masjids, your friends, do other community service work. And your own family might need, obviously you need Eid clothes, and the henna for the women, and being able to go out and celebrate Eid by eating out, whatever you have going on for your family, or any bringing the families together, eating at a certain place, all of that takes money, right? And don't forget your zakat al-fitr. A lot of us are not really even aware of that. So this is a time for me to remind you, and for me to remind myself and you about zakat al-fitr, especially during this quarantined Ramadan. Not a lot of people are going to be reminding us of it, generally speaking, that we're normally connected to. So we might as well do it online and help each other, help others, help ourselves and others, So, we're all going through it. We all have to plan and prepare to be able to execute on this. Money is the topic that is on all of our minds. And we really, really have to take care of it. And, for the longest time, I really, really had the struggle to figure out what to focus on in my business, right? Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, I'm working on building several businesses simultaneously on a micro level, trying to take them up to a bigger level as well. One of them is a media business, the one that you're watching on right now. And I also have an education business that I'm slowly but surely building on in the background. And I'm also in the process of building an e-commerce business. And a lot of that takes a lot of money, right? Along with all the stuff that we really talked about. And there's other business ideas that I'm still working on in the background. I'm thinking about restarting some restaurants and cafes that I've been thinking about. And either the restaurant or the cafe has a very, very strong meaning to me that is connected to somebody that I love, that I've always been wanting to start, that is going to be sometime in the future, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala, for me. I'm really, really focused on these three businesses right now for me. I'm really, really heavy into figuring out my investments, but I'm slowly but surely trying to figure out and building my wealth, halal wealth, to be able to help as many people as I possibly can, starting with myself. And we really have to put a lot of these things in perspective, and it takes money. And I've been struggling with it because there's so many things that I wanted to help. Like, a few hours ago, I was helping one of my connections with their businesses, with their restaurant specifically. So I have the privilege of consulting and working with so many different people in so many different ways, in so many different industries, and doing what I love, helping Muslims maximize their money and life. And it's been a challenge, I'll be honest with you. But, it's a part of the process. It's a part of who I am becoming. A lot of the people might not understand what I'm talking about or where I'm coming from, and that's okay. You're not the one who's going to admit me into heaven or hell. So I don't have to answer to you with all due respect. I do have to listen to you if you are speaking the truth. But if you're speaking some gibberish, holla at your boy. We're on different time zones. You know what I mean? Different situations. I know that doesn't sound really good to some people, but wallah, I'm really, really receptive to the truth. I'm not receptive to BS. I'm not receptive to things that don't make sense. And I'm still slowly but surely learning and growing to completely, as a Muslim, to completely maximize my money and life in this dunya and in the akhirah for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I'm going to slowly but surely figure all of these things out. I hope that you do too. And I hope that I've mentioned to you some of the money problems that we're experiencing during this month of Ramadan. And I know you could relate to some of these things. And, I graduated from the University of Utah back in 2012. I've been thinking about money and business and all of these different things in my life as long as I could remember, specifically in 2008 when I went to Doha, Qatar to visit my uncle, and just seeing how, mashallah, how successful and happy he is. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase it for him. And you know, and if I knew all of that for since 2008 to 2020 right now, 12 years and some, you know, all of that circling back to money, if I knew that and I needed to, you know, build my money mindset and not in a, but more importantly in a halal way, not in a haram way, if I knew that a long time ago, I would have done it a long time ago. But the thing is, our mindset is so weak that, you know, personally we might get hyped up, but when we come into social gatherings and social situations and, you know, we get some sort of criticisms and things like that, and, you know, we kind of buckle down and kind of shrink instead of expanding, simply because we don't have the firm aqidah of tawheed specifically, and the aqidah of money, and the aqidah of so many other things. And, you know, I know a lot of people is going to ruffle their feathers, and it's cool, you know, to each their own within the boundaries, rules, and regulations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But this is the conclusions that I've come up with, and this is the situations that I've seen, and we really, really have to improve upon that and continuously work and develop and learn all of these different things that are happening around us and do the best that we can. And, you know, and money is a part of that process. And, you know, there's a lot for me to talk about, a lot for me to say. And one of my fears actually is that I'll be running out of topics to talk about in relating to money. But I think there's endless amounts. Like, one of the things that keeps coming back to me as I talk about money is, you know, since 2010, I've been wanting to start a quarterly retreat, which is the Ridwanullah retreat. And, you know, where every quarter I personally do this for myself. And, you know, I'm trying to do that through my business, where I bring a lot of the Ridwanullah family together on a quarterly basis, where we retreat and, you know, recharge, so to say. And a lot of that has been backed up because of my money limiting beliefs and my money limiting realities. And I'm starting to really focus on it. I'm starting to, you know, figure out the right balance, because you could focus on money in the wrong way where it's completely consuming you. And this is how you know if you're focused on money in the wrong way. Your focus on money, is it leading you closer to and achieving more of the pleasure of and the forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? If it is yes, then you're focused on money in the wrong way. But if it is causing resentment, if it is causing farness from and displeasure and wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you are focused on money in the wrong way. And you go through different extremes of that. You know, obviously you have to go through your own struggles to be able to figure out a lot of things. But I had to figure that out the hard way. And, you know, that's why, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, I'm going to focus on completely maximizing myself as a Muslim, maximizing my money and all other aspects of my life in this dunya and in the akhirah for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And, you know, for me, I like to learn from people who are at the top of their game. And one of the things that I've realized is, you know, just because someone is at the top of their game does not mean that they have everything figured out. And for me, I've been thinking about, I've been following a couple of individuals who are at the top of their game, making millions of dollars online and offline and everything else that you can imagine. And they are showing this amazing life that they're living. And what they were mentioning to me was focus on your life first and then your money. But what I've realized is the money was getting in the way of my life. And I realized you have to focus on your money first and foremost, while balancing your life, right? You can't really be narrowed focused. You really have to find that balance. And I'll show you guys, this is a part of what I do pretty much on a regular basis. I hope that you guys can't see. You guys, anyway, man, you guys can see where I'm at. I'm cool with it. So this is all the different parts of life, right? I hope you guys can see that. Freedom and wealth comes first. Deen and self comes second. Family and relatives comes third. Ummah and world comes fourth. So and then you can see here, this is where you can see the exact place that I'm at in my life right now. I just kind of let you guys know where I'm at. If somebody can't figure that out, y'all got a long way to go, baby. Long way to go. But what I mean is, by not having my money right, I'm not able to do so many things, be so many things, do so many things, get so many things, and give so many things in my life. And then I'm not saying things in the sense that I'm talking about just material possessions. I'm talking about education. I'm talking about experiences. I'm talking about the feeling that we get from giving sadaqah. So many amazing things, to be honest with you. And you know, I saw that individual. He was at the top of his game, and he was saying, focus on your life first and then your money. But essentially, I found out you have to focus on your money first as well as your life, and find that balance, and don't be narrow focused, because if you focus on your money, your life starts to crumble. And if you focus on your life only, your money starts to crumble. But all of that is within life. And the most important aspect of your money and your life is your deen, right? Your Islam, your Iman and Ihsan, the three levels of your deen. And you know, this is going a little bit long, but I'm not apologetic, because this is what it is. And what I want you guys to know is the reason why I stumbled into money, business, my job, and businesses, and investments, and wealth, and all of these different aspects of freedom and wealth, is because initially my goal was to become an Islamic scholar. I'm still an aspiring Islamic scholar, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant me and you that goal. It's a big goal, right? It's a big goal. But one of the things that I've realized is, every time I try to move towards that, there's always money problems. Always money problems. And I've realized it's not this or that, it's this and that. So I could get my money situation in a better place and still pursue my Islamic knowledge, right? My deen, you know? And we get to a situation where our deen, our faith, is so weak. And it's a situation where we really have to put it in perspective. So what I'm trying to say is, by getting your money problem solved, you're able to move on with your life in ways that are amazing. And it takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of belief shifting. And I'm trying to do that for myself through my business, my life, my money, my investments, my job, my wealth, all of these different aspects. And I hope that you can do the same for yourself as well. It's a sore place for me. It's one of those things where it's like a wound, right, within my heart and soul, of this topic of money. And sometimes you have to face your fears. All the time, you have to face your fears and conquer your fears. And a lot of my fears have really been around money and, being consumed by this dunya. And the more I try to avoid it, the more it's sucking me in. So by facing it and dealing with it and challenging it and grabbing it and wrestling with it and putting it in perspective, now it doesn't have much power over me. Then I could focus on the different aspects of my life. And you guys know this from the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where money is the lowest level of needs, and the top is the self-actualization and all of the different parts in between that. And that's what I'm trying to figure out. That's what I'm trying to resolve in a way that is going to get me closer to and achieve and the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Jalla wa ala. And that's what I need. That's what I want. And that's my passion, my purpose, and dreams. And that's what I'm trying to build, a passion and purpose driven dream business, right? Which is the Ridwanullah Organization for me. That's my business. And I would love for you to show your love and support by, subscribing to the YouTube channel and the Facebook, the Instagram, and the website, and signing up for our mailing list where I send you direct personalized messages from me and my team, inshallah, once the team becomes assembled. Bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. This, by helping you, I'm helping myself by helping you. And I hope that this is very, very helpful. I'm trying to be completely open and honest with you guys. A lot of people are not comfortable with that. I am, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. And the thing that matters to me is if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is comfortable with me talking about money. And I don't think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is displeased with me talking about money, as long as I'm helping myself and the other Muslims that are out there. Bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. And, I felt bad, I was starting to feel bad, thinking about Muslims. And, I started to think about how my non-Muslim acquaintances will feel about that. But I'm being genuine to my Lord. I'm being genuine to myself and others. So I'm trying to serve the Muslims. Those are the individuals that I genuinely and deeply care about. And, I'll do anything for within the boundaries, rules, and regulations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that does not mean that this channel is not for non-Muslims as well. And this channel is not helping non-Muslims, but it just means that, I have to figure out my values and priorities, and that's what it is for me. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. So those are all the things that I can think about in terms of money problems during the month of Ramadan, and I'll try to release this episode by next week or so, or within a couple of weeks, so it's still a Ramadan topic. And whenever I'm planning my content, I'll try to make sure that I understand what really happens during that time, so I could address those times bi-idhnillahi ta'ala, so I don't feel that disconnect. If you're somebody who is into money, who is is in the space of money professionally, I would love to connect with you. I would love to interview you so I could benefit and my viewers could benefit as well, the Ridwanullah family. And to become a Ridwanullah family, you have to be a Muslim, and you have to you have to completely maximize your money and life. Those are the two criterias. So that's what makes you a Muslim, a Ridwanullah family, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. I think I got a lot of things off my chest right now, and alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, I feel really, really great about it. I remember my brother Hilal, mashallah, calling me, he's been checking up on me, man. Bro, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, bro. He's been checking up on me, and one of the things that he shared with me is just be genuine, be real with yourself. And this is me, real, talking about money and life, completely maximizing money and life, completely maximizing Muslims' money and life in this dunya and in the akhirah for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and not being apologetic about that. And a lot of people want to be politically correct and so many different things, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? And just being genuine and being real, open and honest from my heart and soul. You know what I mean? I just hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helps me and you through the content that I'm creating, and a lot of people start to subscribe, and a lot of people start to leave comments and share it with their family and friends, to kind of help me build this business. And I've had some really, really deep conversations with myself and others, and with my Lord, most importantly, about business and how we can utilize business to not only serve our Lord, but to serve ourselves and others in this dunya and in the akhirah for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whether that's about money or all the different aspects of life. And that's what we have to do. That's what we need to do. And that's what we get to do. Bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. I'm really about, building your business around your passion, but I'm not against making money by any means as long as it's halal. And not being ashamed about that. You know what I mean? I have a couple of stories for you guys in store, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. Some of the things that I've recently have done that I felt ashamed of. And I don't mean ashamed of in a haram way. It was completely halal, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. But because of my ego, I felt like I was better than that. And I'll share that with you, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. And that's what got me, by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, improving in my money and life. A lot of us want to help our parents, but we need our own help more than our parents need our help. Even though our parents need our help as well, we need to be able to help ourselves. And by helping ourselves, we put ourselves in a situation where we can better help our parents and all of the Muslimin across the globe and everybody else that we're thinking about helping and serving and everything else that you can imagine within the boundaries, rules and regulations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So by getting your money problems taken care of, you are able to help other people. But if you can't take care of your own money problems, how in the world are you able to help other people? Think about that for a second. Think about that for a little bit. Bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. So that's what I got for you guys today, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. I have a couple of interviews coming up. I try to do at least one interview per month. If I could have more individuals that are amazing to interview, I'll increase that. But as of right now, that's what the Ridwanullah Show is really about. And that's what we're going to build on. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. We're trying to get the podcast up and running. It's going to be a little while, but inshallah, we're going to get the podcast up and running as well for those who love to listen to it through the podcasting. And we'll build up the Ridwanullah Show, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. And that's all I got for you guys today, bi-idhnillah. And I'll be testing out, some vlogs and other forms of content outside of the show. But the foundation and framework of my media and content is the Ridwanullah Show, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. So that's all I got for you guys today, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. This was a little bit long, but we go as long as we need to be able to get the message across. And I hope that I've given you the tip of the iceberg and you can dive into the deeper aspects of what I'm talking about by yourself, or continue to stick with us and we'll be able to help you and move forward with you. Join us in the programs for $30 per month on the Life Maximization Program. And I have this other program coming up, so we'll be able to help you through that as well, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. And that's all I got for you guys today. To summarize and conclude, focus on maximizing your money and life in this dunya and in the akhirah for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's all I got for you guys today. Just to kind of remind you guys of our sponsors, announcements and updates. Our primary sponsor is Ridwanullah Organization, which is a Islamic personal and professional development company designed to help Muslims completely maximize their money and lives in this dunya and in the akhirah for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can visit us at ridwanullah.com for more information. And I'm working on a program. I'm focused on consulting one-on-one or with your team, online or offline, depending on what you prefer. So send your request, budget, and details to Ridwanullah Organization at gmail.com, and we'll be able to help you with that. And I also do Ridwanullah University's Life Maximization Program, where you can join us to help you understand the aspects of life, like I've showed you here, the different parts of life, how to organize it, how to categorize it, how to find balance, how to do it in a way that is pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's what we're working on month by month. It's $30 per month, exclusively online program. And what I'm doing is I'm going through each month giving live training and live consultation. And we go through each of those stages, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala, month by month, one live coaching and one live consultation, unless I'm in a situation where I have to pre-record it and you guys can still watch it. I don't know whether to just keep it pre-recorded or do it live. I think it's more beneficial to do it live. But I'm still exploring and see what works and what doesn't. Sometimes I might be in a situation where I don't have good internet connection, where I would upload it and then you guys still get the benefit of the trainings and the consultations. And then, you guys will be able to go on from there, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala, for $30 per month. So please join us in that program. I appreciate your business. It really, really helps me out and my business, and hopefully all of the Muslimin across the globe. That's what I got going on in terms of, recapping of sponsors, announcements, and updates. There's a lot that I'm working on in the background. I'll keep you guys posted as they come up. And that's what I got for you guys today. Jazakumullahu khair, Ridwanullah family, for tuning in to a new episode of the Ridwanullah Show. I'm your host, Money and Life Maximizer, Hussein Mohamud, checking out by saying, never ever give up on completely maximizing your money and life in this dunya and in the akhirah for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.